deluxe mystery meat burger, please?
Sorry, pal. We haven't caught any mystery meat yet today.
Happy Halloween, viewers! This week, I'm going to be reviewing Goosebumps Horrorland, which is on the Wii and the PS2, but I'm reviewing the Wii version, just to clarify. Now, I picked this game up in a bargain bin for $10, and suspecting that this game wasn't going to be all that great, but it was going to be worth something to try, and maybe even review. And after playing it and beating it, I am surprised to say that this game is fun and enjoyable. Goosebumps Horrorland is a minigame compilation that's based off the R.L. Stine book, One Day at Horrorland, and probably also based off of some of his newer books based in Horrorland. The minigames themselves vary quite a bit from what you gotta use the controls for. One instance you're using them to throw balls, paddle boats, use it as a flashlight, use it to shoot things while you're on a roller coaster. You're using these controls in so many different ways, it's like unbelievable. Unfortunately, 2 out of the 30 minigames don't work, but for a company that doesn't make games, actually this is their first game that they made, that's pretty good. I gotta say, that is really good for a first time go at making a minigame compilation.
Jump! Roll that ball into the slot marked jump! They're headed for the finish line!
Something that I have a problem with is the story itself doesn't feel a lot like a Goosebumps story. You've been invited to Horrorland, i.e. you've got a free admissions ticket, so you and your friend go to Horrorland, you get trapped in there, and then the only way you can get out is by collecting your pieces of your ticket that they've ripped up and threw into the park somewhere. Throughout the story, it doesn't feel too much like a Goosebumps book or a show or anything like that, but the ending does. That's the good thing. The ending does feel like a Goosebumps ending, and I'm not going to ruin the ending, how it ends for you, in case you're playing it or you want to play it. But, like I said, this game is surprisingly good. Other things to note is you get to walk around the park during the story mode, which is pretty fun. That's like where half the fun is. Half the fun's playing the minigames, the other half is exploring the park. Because there's a whole lot of things you can interact with. I.e., when I say interact, I mean, like, there's things that you can read that have little funny puns and jokes in them. There's actually this phone booth that tells bad vampire jokes.
How did the doctor know the vampire was sick? He was coughing too much. I wrote that.
Which are pretty funny in their own sense. So overall, I'm giving this game an 8.8 out of 10. Out of 30 games, 20 of them work. Which, like I said, that's a great thing for like a first timer, and that actually shocks the crap out of me that only 2 of them don't work, and it's not really due to the game itself. The game itself is fine. It's more due to faulty control mechanisms. I.e., you have to do like underhand throws, and I've never found doing underhand throws with the Wiimote working too well. Maybe if they had the Motion Plus, it might have worked a bit better, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. As I've said multiple times through the review, this game is fun as hell, and that is no joke whatsoever. There is a multiplayer, but I didn't really play the multiplayer too much. But from what I can gather, you just basically play the mini-games with 2 people, which probably works out fairly fine on its own, except for those 2 games. So, Goosebumps Horrorland, if you're a Goosebumps fan, or if you're just looking for a cheap, great game, pick this bad boy up. It is fun.
Why don't vampires have any friends? Because they're a pain in the neck.